Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Emix Radio. We are here every single Monday, 8 p.m. This is my co-host.
What's going on? Jason here.
Jason, and this is our band. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
You first, Brandy.
I'm Brandy.
I'm Sean.
I'm Joey. And David.
All right, and the name of your band?
Rustic Rye.
Rustic Rye. Nice, very nice. Can you tell us a little bit more about your band and the style of music that you guys play?
You want to do it?
Yeah, we like to think that we're folk punk. Yes.
Okay, who is that?
Kind of like folk punk, like a Flogging Molly, kind of that kind of sense.
Exactly, but with
All right.
acoustic guitars. Yeah.
All right, very cool. Definitely big fan of Flogging Molly, so I'm excited to see what you guys got for us.
Yeah.
More like
Comparison to okay, folk rock.
Folk rock.
Folk rock.
So not as intense as the punk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to flip this chair, flip the table up.
All right. So last week, my co-host Jason actually brought a beer for me to drink, and we decided to start a new tradition. We're going to try different things every single week on the show, and we have our band here, Rustic Rye, who are going to try this brand new Black Velvet. None of us have tried it before, so we're going to take a couple shots. So cheers, you guys.
Salute. Cheers,
We
everybody.
got water over there. Here we go.
Bam.
That was pretty smooth. Really
Actually
liked it.
was, yeah. I think whiskey always has a little bit of burn.
It does.
A little bit, but definitely not as intense as some other whiskeys. That was nice.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It was smooth.
Have you ever tried Jameson's Black Label?
I have
No.
not. No.
Oh my god.
Is it
I
good?
can't say I've seen it.
That's next week.
Good.
Next week?
Hey, that's going to happen next week. Yeah, I think
Actually, I
so.
just came across. There's a local store over here, and they have a couple different bottles of Jack Daniels, and they have a rye whiskey that's clear. Never seen a clear one before, so I don't know if it's more like a moonshine. And then they have another one that's a little bit different, but it's like in the single barrel style bottle. But they're two definitely different styles of Jack Daniels I've never seen before. So, but they're a little more expensive too. I mean, they're probably about the same price as a single barrel, so you're like $50-$60 a bottle.
Wow.
And actually, they just came out with another one. My brother's fiance got it. They have a limited edition Frank Sinatra Jack Daniels, and it's a really tall one, so it's larger than a regular Jack Daniels bottle.
Does
And
it
it
like
comes
sing right when you open it.
exactly. It comes with like this like collector's booklet with pictures and the story behind the bottle and everything. I haven't tried it yet. I can't wait to try it. But it's like $150 a bottle. So,
By the way-
I definitely want to pick one up.
$50.
By the way, I just found out our friend here is a bartender, and she told us this was actually 3 shots, not just one. So,
But we all took it in one. I mean,
no, it took me 2 times.
I took it on the chin like a chimp.
All right, so talk to me more about the band. I want to know how'd you guys meet?
Well, me and Joey, we started it. We've known each other since we were about 16.
95.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, 95.
So back in '95, you guys started like just singing together, or
Yeah, we had a punk band, and punk. We went into hardcore, and then we took a break for a little while, and then we met back up. We actually lived together, so it was easy. And I made up a song because I really got into Mumford and Sons, and I kind of wanted to make a song similar to their style, and me and Sean just started making songs like that. But it kind of progressed to like folk, Irish /
Rock
punk
stuff. Yeah.
Now, Mumford & Sons definitely, I mean, huge band not I don't want to say on the rise. I mean, they're definitely here, but I think that genre is something that hasn't been on like mainstream music for a while. I mean, I know they're a relatively younger band, at least on the mainstream for me, about like 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
So you guys actually probably haven't been writing stuff for too long then for this new genre.
Yeah, for this type of music, about a year.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Sean been playing together. We had like that chemistry for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you find because of that chemistry, it was easy to adapt this new kind of style. You guys are just kind of plunging into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, very cool.
all right. So that was you two. What about the rest of your crew? Talk to me. Talk closer to the mic if you could do me a favor.
They picked me up on the way here. So.
It's a random guy.
We'll
crossing
drum for
the street.
food.
Pretty much. I met Sean back 5 years ago at work, and for that whole time we've been trying to put a band together, and not till maybe last year we actually started playing, and I kind of just jumped into this genre. So
Okay, cool. And your name again?
David,
David. All right, David. David the drummer.
drummer, Cody.
Cool deal.
Don't forget about Brandy.
We were about to go that way.
Don't worry. Joey and I worked together at Nordstrom this past holiday season, and he's like, dude, you should come play with us. He's like, you're a musician. I was like, I play clarinet. He's like, yeah, just come play. And I'm like, what? I've been doing classical for a long time, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, crazy guy. And then I ended up coming, and it actually ended up sounding really good.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
Excellent.
so you merged from classical to, rock,
Folk.
folk genre.
And the thing is that I had just picked up ukulele last year because a friend of mine had bought it for me when he went to Hawaii. And up until that point, I had just played clarinet and a little bit of keyboards, just because you have to take it when you go to school. But yeah, and then now I'm playing harmonica for these guys. I ukulele, and I don't know what else.
You're also
Vocal.
singing and
Oh yeah, backup vocals, yeah. So
cool
Does it
deal.
all.
Cool deal.
Important part of our band.
It's crazy, like seeing her picking up all these instruments. Like when she comes to practice, she's like master at the harmonica. We're like, what the heck? How
I
did
forgot
you?
about
How
that.
did you learn that so fast?
So you're just one of those musicians that just picks up an instrument and you could just play it.
Apparently.
Cool.
I've been fighting it out with this band. I picked up harmonica, in February?
Yeah, we gave her a violin too. Hopefully she can learn that.
Nice.
That's a little bit more difficult. David gave me the violin.
Yeah, David gave.
When I was back in middle school, I used to play the viola.
Oh, it's such a beautiful instrument.
It is. And you know what confused me about it? It's different from the violin. It's not the same thing. The notes are completely different. They look identical, just a little bit bigger, but
It's got a deeper, more resonant sound, and it's just, it's dark and beautiful. I love it.
yeah.
Like a cello or what?
No, not as dark as a cello. Like,
No?
think of the cello as like a bass, and the viola as like a tenor.
Oh, okay.
It's the best way to put it. And
Play
then-
with us, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Back in middle school.
I got the viola right.
I thought you played a little accordion in the day too. Or was I
No,
mistaken on that?
You got somebody else on that one. I play the piano.
You play the piano. All
Play the
right.
piano. Yeah. Okay.
One here.
Yeah, you wanna play it?
Yeah. Wow. Being called on the spot right there. Okay, talk to me about your first gig. Like, what gigs have you done? Where have you been?
Who wants to see the first one?
Well, we started. It was me, Joey, and David. And we played at a party, and then we played at. Yeah, we played at your sister's party.
Oh, my sister. Yeah.
Yeah. Sister's party, and then we did something else. I can't remember.
We recently played at an open mic, and that was
that was
very,
good.
very interesting.
So where was that at?
It was in Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And interesting in what way?
I guess it was all stand-up comedy night that night,
Okay.
and the people who were up, they were very crude and vulgar, and they're
You're not
like,
gonna tell them what happened before?
oh, what? Oh, you tell us.
The
story.
heroin addicts that started
my-
throwing up.
Oh, yeah.
outside.
Yeah, so Joey and Sean go to find out where this place is because we didn't know where it was, and David and I stayed in the car, huh? And so we were just like, oh, la 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 la, and we see this skinny Indian from India kid just kind of walk past them, and he kind of looks at us, and we're just talking in the car. We're like, okay, well, whatever, and they disappear for a good
10 minutes or so.
10 minutes, yeah. And then they come back, and the Indian kid's still looking at them, and he's looking at our cars because we have about over $2,000 of instruments at least in our car with the drum sets alone and all the other instruments. So they come back, and we see this Indian kid kind of walk, and he looks like he's gonna cross the street, and then he just bends over and goes, "Bruh!" and just starts on the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Joey starts talking to him.
Yeah, because I was like, don't touch his hands, man. He started trying to he's gonna shake or stuff. I was like, no. Don't touch his hands, man. You don't know what this guy's got.
Yeah.
And tell him about your conversation with him.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear about the conversation.
Oh, well, my whole purpose was like, oh, I got this. This is my guy. Like,
My homie.
He's doing? How's his day?
Are you part Indian or something like that? You felt the tie there? Like, this is my guy.
Yeah. No, I just asked him, like, you know, what's going on and how was your life, and just talking. Well, I'm kind of distracting him while they're loading up the stuff inside the place. Yeah. But it turns out that he was in jail, and he was addicted to heroin. But when he was in jail, he was able to get off of heroin, and he was going through the withdrawals. That's why he was throwing up.
Oh.
Yeah. And I just told him I'll be praying for him, and his name was Anthony. And I just kept him in my prayers, and hopefully he's okay right now.
That's brutal. I mean, I've never come across anyone that's like had to try to kick heroin. I mean, I've known people on other drugs, but I mean, I know that's just harsh. I mean, you see it depicted in movies. Have you ever seen Train Spotting or other movies like that? It's absolutely brutal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't run in that circle. Maybe I'm in the wrong part of town. I don't know, but that's got to be brutal. I know it's really harsh.
Yeah.
That's one of the fast drugs, right? That's
The fast drugs? No, I'm sure it's
get addicted fast to
Oh,
it. And,
yeah.
I think
yeah.
it's all within the personality, though. You know? I mean,
No, not that one though.
I don't know.
I know
Like,
people.
is it like a chemical reaction?
I think
Oh, yeah.
anybody
Oh,
who
yeah.
has heroin.
It's like one time, dude. It's over.
Yeah, one time and you're
Yeah, me
addicted.
neither.
Yeah, I know people who have it. That's
Well, big shout out to Anthony. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, I hope
Yes,
you're
sir.
All
alright.
right, Anthony.
All right, so let's talk more about the Hollywood Club. What happened? What else happened? You were talking about how people were being rude.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. I mean, they were nice people, but their material was very crude and like F this, F that, and talk. But Sean liked it.
It was pretty cool.
That's actually very typical of comedians nowadays. We actually have a show right before this one. It's called the Luis Bañuelos Show. If you're watching, big shout out to you. They're very crude. He was actually on the show last week.
Yeah.
Alright.
You want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun, definitely. Well, I had seen the Luis Banuelos podcast before, and when he came on, he had I forgot the guy's name.
Man, Squeaky Clean. That's how I
It was like
remember.
squeaky clean comedy, right? So I'm watching the show, and like
Sean
they were
Austin?
funny. They had some jokes, and everything was cool. I mean, it was clean. A couple of curse words here and there, no big deal. But I was just watching, and it was funny. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And then Paco and I got bumped on our show last week because Luis was running late. He didn't fall asleep. He passed out, and so they asked me to be a guest on the show. So I said, yeah, I'd seen the show. It was funny. I mean, I enjoy comedy. And we got started with the show, and it just went in a complete other direction than the first show I'd seen. I mean, not Squeaky Clean. I mean, talking about Michael Jackson and his sexcapades with children, and everywhere. And what was it? A fleshlight or something like that.
flashlight.
Some stuff. I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of what that was. So it was definitely a little more crude. I mean, I could hang with it. I'm not bashful, but definitely was not what I was expecting. But it was still a really good time. But shout out to Luis. I know he's got a show tomorrow night at the Brea Improv, Tuesday the 23rd. So we'll hope to see everybody there.
I wonder if you guys saw him at Hollywood, and that's who you're referring to. Same guy.
This is like a hole in the wall place.
Yeah, it was actually like in like a house. Like it was like there was a real like up apartment above like a liquor store.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And it was,
Okay.
They converted
Yeah,
into
it looked like one giant apartment because they had other rooms that were empty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the main stage was like if it was the living room.
How'd you guys hear about it?
Every like big comedian though like goes through that place. It's
Yeah, what was
strange.
it called? Marty's.
Marty's,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Marty's in Hollywood.
It was really cool, dude. The guy was real cool
Yeah,
too.
he was cool.
Yeah, he'd come up and he would do his jokes in between the people.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty good.
Yeah, very curious to go and check it out now.
Yeah.
I went to a spot like that in Burbank. It was like the Burbank Bar and Grill. And it's kind of a similar thing. It was like upstairs. You could tell it was I think maybe like one or two apartments at one time, and then just converted it. But it's a real cool vibe. I mean, it does feel kind of homey, and my wife and I have usually been when they have like an 80s flashback night, so they have like a live 80s cover band. That's really cool to check it out. So, but yeah, I like little places like that. Those are great.
All right, for sure. So the next segment that we have planned for you guys, we're actually going to talk about guilty pleasures. Guilty pleasures, yeah. And you know what? You want to talk about it? a
Yeah,
little bit?
I'll give you an example. We were kicking around some ideas for what we wanted to talk about, and I think it's one of those things where, you know, I don't get embarrassed. I don't mind sharing a little bit about myself, being a little insightful, and it had actually come up at a party recently, and my wife likes to put me on blast any chance that she gets to embarrass me, just because because I'm a very confident kind of person. So if she could, you know, humble me at any chance that she gets, it's a lot of fun. So I'll you know, I'll be the leadoff batter, and I'll talk about one of my guilty pleasures. I came across this TV show on Netflix. Never heard of it before. My wife started watching it, and I watched it a couple of times, and I kind of got into it. It's called Drop Dead Diva. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. No, okay, good. So so let me tell you a little bit about it, and you'll get why it's a guilty pleasure. So the show. The concept of the show is there's a girl, and she's like this supermodel. And all of a sudden, one day, she gets hit by a bus and she dies. And she comes back reincarnated in like this exact opposite, like a heavy-set girl who's like a lawyer, like very prudely dressed and proper and everything, and is absolutely nothing like the supermodel. And so she's in this body, and she's trying. So now she's like this kind of ditzy bimbo supermodel trying to pose as a lawyer, and it's kind of a quirky show, but I got into it for like the court side of it. I really like Law and Order and shows like that, and so I got into it. But it's definitely a very, I guess, girly show, because I mean it's based around a girl and all the other girls and their relationships with guys and stuff. But I am definitely drawn to it. I'm not ashamed to admit I have a guilty pleasure. Drop Dead Diva. I couldn't tell you what channel it's on, but if you have Netflix, it's on Netflix. I recommend. I mean, just give it a view. Check it out. See what you think.
Talking about shows, have you watched Orange is the New Black?
No.
Yeah.
I've seen one episode.
I got really into it. I'm not gonna lie. That's not one of my guilty pleasures. I don't think it's a girl show per se, but it's a pretty good show. I will talk about one of my guilty pleasures though. I like ordering mixed drinks at bars, and then they're typically girl drinks.
There's a mixed drink. I mean, you can get a Jack and Coke. That's a mixed drink.
They're apple-tini, my favorite drink. That is my favorite drink.
Don't feel bad. My boyfriend does the same thing.
Dude, he's gonna watch this.
I love whiskey and I love beer. And it'll be funny because he'll order like a pomegranate martini and I'll order like a Jameson neat or something like that. Or like a scotch, like a Blue Label Johnny Walker. And then they'll come and
Money
they'll give
bags.
me-
Blue Label.
They'll come to the table and they'll give me the martini and they'll give him the scotch. And then he's like, no. Martini
Wow.
goes here. But it's cool because in the present days he's like, yeah, that's my martini. Give her that dirty drink. I mean, it's fine though. Some people have like a sweet palate, and I love bitterness. That's why I love whiskey. That's why I love like IPAs.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was gonna ask IPA because that's got a really heavy bitter taste to it.
Only beer.
Yeah, the first time I heard about the apple martini, it was on a show called Scrubs. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but JD always orders the apple teeny, and you know he's always like, "Oh, I'll take the apple teeny, please. It's the real man drink." And that's how I heard of it, and I really liked it. So
I'll admit I've tried it, but it just I'm not into the sweetness is not on my palate as far as alcoholic beverages are concerned. But on this side, David or Richard, sorry, Joey, my bad. Guilty pleasures? Anything you want to admit or get off your chest?
Go ahead, David.
I fixed it quick.
Like sad movies, I don't really cry, but movies that have to deal with
Give him another shot.
movies that deal
Hey, he's getting a little choked up right now. Hang on a
with,
second.
you need some more of this right here, man.
like movies that like anything with like Jesus or anything like spiritual, like say like that movie The Fountain. For some reason, I just start crying and like bawling and like and I can watch. There's this movie like a claymation of Jesus, and I like start bawling. I start bawling. It's the weirdest thing, but yeah, I hope to watch that on private, so like nobody will see me.
Was that the one with Hugh Jackman? It looked like the Fountain of Youth kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it goes
yeah,
through like
yeah,
different.
yeah.
I've
I
seen
never
that
saw
movie.
it, but I wanted to see it. It's a good watch.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
I gotta
really
check it
good.
out
It's
then.
like blows your mind.
All right.
Yeah.
David,
I
I did.
guess it's another show. It's
make sure everyone can hear you talk up closer to a mic.
We're dying to know who your guilty pleasure is.
all right. Well, it's another show on it's a show on YouTube called Game Grumps. It's these two guys. They play video games and they play a lot of like old school Nintendo, Sega, a lot of the older games. And me and some of my friends are really into those games also. So they play a lot of familiar titles and they're just really funny. The conversations. I think I watch it more for the conversations than the actual gameplay. They're just two funny guys. Just go at it all. Like,
So they do it just like commentary while they're playing, or they're just like commentating on the game itself?
a little bit of both.
Oh,
They'll
okay.
Talk about the game. They'll talk about just life, whatever happened to them at any time or anything. Just it's a good show.
So for you, favorite NES game? Original Nintendo system.
I'm more of a Sega guy.
Sega guy? Okay, Sega.
Sega.
So are you like Ultra Beast or Sonic?
Yeah, it's a little cliche, but Sonic, yeah.
Sonic?
Yeah.
Oh no, Sonic is a classic. I mean, that's a go-to. I played a little bit of Sega. I like the Ultra Beast. I kind of like more the RPG style. But Sonic was definitely a fun one too.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
yeah.
games. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was a
too,
Sega
yeah.
game.
Oh,
And yeah, you had to have the secret code to get the blood.
blood,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you couldn't have it.
All right, so moving on to this side, guilty pleasures.
I know you guys are gonna think this is weird, so I'm gonna give a background to this.
All right.
Okay.
Backstory. Do we have the fade in?
Well, my daughter Emily is 3 years old, so I watch a lot of kids programming, and two of the shows that I actually thought was okay was Barbie. I know this sounds weird, whatever, but it's not really geared totally for kids, so it's kind of weird, yeah. So Barbie and My Little Pony.
Dude, My Little
know,
Pony's
it's-
awesome.
You're a brony? Are you a brony?
I heard about that. Some guys are into My Little Pony, but my daughter loved watching it, so I started watching. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. But then I'm kind of ashamed. This is kind of weird that I'm even saying that. But,
It's all good. But I think when you have kids, it's different. I've got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old at home, and they're both boys. So we kind of watch more like Iron Man and Clash
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
a big
Titans
Marvel
and
fan,
stuff like
too.
that. Yeah, my kids are really into the superhero stuff. But yeah, that was one of my guilty pleasures too. Was I really am into like the Disney movies. My kids love them, but I was talking to my wife about it the other day. I think because she got my birthday was last week, and she got me the Lego movie for my birthday because I really wanted to see it. I heard a lot of good things about it, and it was awesome. Everything is awesome. It was really good. But I was laughing my ass off because just watching how they were so creative and utilizing all the different Lego pieces. I mean, from the little blue pieces to make water, and I just thought it was that's what I appreciate about animation is the creativity that goes into it. Your possibilities are limitless as opposed to live action. So I really enjoy that about animation. I know it's kind of a kids thing. A lot of adults are into it too. And I'm not into it, but I don't want to even look at like the anime stuff. I think you get a whole different breed of people that are into the anime stuff. But I think all that animated stuff is really creative. I like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. We have one more. She doesn't want to share. It looks like she doesn't want to share.
No, I do share.
She's dying to
I'm trying
share.
to think about it. I'm just like, crap. What is my guilty pleasure? Because all my pleasures, I make everybody known. I mean,
So you're pretty open about
pretty
them.
much. I mean, if
There's
I,
gotta
if
be
I like
one.
something, I don't care if you like it or not. I'm just like, I don't care. I like this. Oh, you think it's gay?
Like
So
picking your-
what?
Picking your nose or something?
No, I don't pick my nose. Not anymore. Not since I was like 8.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
18.
lie.
I used to
18? That's a long time ago. Oh, I'm old. I guess. I mean, I play video games. A lot of video games.
A lot of people play video games.
See, okay, that's not even a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, that's not really a
because-
guilty pleasure.
Oh, I do NES, and it was Link.
Oh.
With Zelda.
Oh.
Zelda, the original Zelda with the golden cartridge. Amazing.
Oh.
Duck Hunt,
Whatever.
along with, that came with the system when you
Mario.
got the gun with Super Mario Brothers. I was like,
Duck Hunt.
I got one at home.
What about
Alright.
music? Like, do you have like a little like Wilson Phillips on your iPod or something like that?
I
Is
love
it?
Wilson Phillips, but anybody who knows me knows that I love like awesome music because 80s, early 90s grunge. Come on, man, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What was the song that you
Which one?
the song that we were singing in practice?
Oh, Sledgehammer.
Oh,
Oh,
Peter
that's a
Gabriel.
jam. Peter Gabriel?
Peter Gabriel is
Oh,
awesome.
amazing.
Freaking early Genesis.
Genius.
When early Genesis.
Genius.
When he was like, exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
What was the other one? The Amadeus song.
Oh,
Oh,
what was that by Amadeus? I love 80s music. I don't know.
Just on a quick side note, because you guys are kind of the folk music. Dave Matthews does a Sledgehammer cover. I don't know if you've ever heard
I
it.
did hear it, and they murdered it. And if Peter Gabriel was
I thought
dead-
it was good.
Really?
I thought it was good. I liked it because he did it in his own way. Honestly, I'm a huge Dave fan, and I think I've heard him do a lot of covers. I really don't think he can mess up. I mean, ever since All Along the Watchtower, after that cover, I was just kind of sold on any cover he does. That's just me though. I'm a big fan.
Ooh, Aqua. Do you remember Aqua?
Barbie
back
Girl?
then?
Barbie Girl.
That's my
Yeah.
guilty pleasure. There
That-
we go.
okay, that-
I love
that
Aqua.
is-
That was my first CD I ever bought, and I never told anybody. There we go. Guilty pleasure.
Very
I
good.
still listen to it.
I was actually hacked on my Facebook by my brother, and he posted the lyrics to Aqua Barbie Girl.
Oh.
It's amazing, the lyrics and everything, how they capture her. Oh my God. Loved it.
Dang, yeah.
Talking about another guilty pleasure. All right. You were kind of mentioning it, but I kind of want to go on the other side instead of Disneyland, which it's actually owned by Disneyland, but Pixar movies.
Okay.
Those are one of my favorite movies. Shrek.
great. Yeah.
Shrek is like one of my favorite movies.
Shrek
So.
is DreamWorks.
That's not like that.
Yeah, Shrek
Oh,
is DreamWorks.
wow. Totally got that
But
right.
I found out DreamWorks is actually owned by Disney.
Really?
I did not know that. I found that out recently. Yeah, total mind blower, right? That's the first time I heard it too. I couldn't believe it. But
Fine.
yeah.
Monsters Inc.
Amazing.
Pixar.
Love Monsters Inc.
All right. So let's continue. What other guilty pleasures do you guys have over here?
More
Yeah, you got to keep going, man.
exposing us.
All right, you guys keep thinking because I know we're kind of putting you on the spot here, but as soon as you got something, jump in there. But I will. I've got a couple. I will say that another one is for me is an actor. There's a couple of male actors that are probably they're looked at as like mimbos, but a couple of male actors that I enjoy their movies. One is Ryan Reynolds. He's a terrible. He's not that good an actor, but he just cracks me up. I think he's hilarious.
He destroyed
good.
my childhood. I love him. I know. Green Lantern. I'm a huge Green
No,
Lantern
I
fan.
love Green Lantern. He did a good job.
Hal
I
Jordan. Did you
disagree.
read the Hal Jordan
I
series?
disagree.
No.
totally
It was
disagree.
disgusting. How are you gonna have cell phones in the 1950s,
Right.
1960s? No, screw that. Get your technology with your time.
That's not the actor's fault, though.
Yeah, but he did Amityville Horror like awesome.
He was dead. Yeah, he did. He was Deadpool. Stay in the Marvel universe. I hate when actors cross like Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why is he Batman?
I'm not excited about that at all. I am, and I know, and the latest argument, which I can agree with, is a little too old to play Batman. Maybe, but I'm not looking forward to him as a Batman at all.
He can't strike that fear into Superman.
No.
Because when Superman actually meets Batman at this time, like you sense the fear that Superman has against Batman. Batman doesn't have any superpowers, but Batman's a badass.
I'm Batman.
Ba-
I mean,
yeah.
that's all he's got to say. That's all he's got to say, and it's over.
Batman is one of my favorite superheroes. So
Yeah.
Is it the car? Because
Hands
she's the
down.
car.
You know what? I was actually talking to one of my buddies about this, and he's not a superhero. He's just a vigilante.
Oh yeah, that is
Okay.
true.
Technically, yeah.
I was arguing with him like he's still a genius. He's a freaking genius. That's superpowers.
Well,
I think.
he's got a lot of
Like,
money.
you're hired for whoever is.
No, you
right?
don't necessarily.
That's
have
a
to be
mercenary.
hired.
Ah, shit.
Mercenary.
Never mind.
There you go.
Yeah, vigilantes do it on their own. They're like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
What's the difference between a superhero and a vigilante?
Well, a superhero is someone that has abnormal abilities.
Oh,
Like Flight
And-
Superman.
Yeah, and Batman does not.
yeah.
Batman's just just awesome.
Just an average guy.
Did he have super skills and like his weapons? and stuff?
That's what I said.
That just means he's got deep pockets.
Yeah.
He's a genius though.
Yeah.
He's a genius. Like he comes up with
He's a
things.
genius with League of Shadows and League of Shadows. Like that's cool. That's superhero.
I think so. I think it's superhero worthy. I think he's
Definitely.
definitely superhero worthy.
I think he's still qualified as such. I mean, if you want to get technical about it, if you want to get into semantics, I think you can. So, all right, we bought you guys a little bit more time. We want to hear some. I mean, let's bring out the
Alright,
dirt.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I've been waiting. I was waiting. I was kind of like, let's get it.
Joey is ready.
I am ready.
Oh, we're playing.
No. Guilty pleasures.
We wanna
Guilty
hear another
pleasures.
guilty pleasure. He's ready to leave.
Joey's ready to play some music.
Music, dude.
He's ready to go.
Guilty pleasure. What?
What's your favorite chick flick? I know you have one.
Oh.
I know you have one.
All right. So the Notebook. I was thinking like, this is just gonna be another like chick flick, but when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's really good.
Did you cry?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
I'm a Notebook fan too.
Yeah.
I like The
I've
Notebook.
got it as one of my guilty pleasures. I I enjoy it. I watched it with my wife, so maybe that was the thing. Like I kind of got it was like a little romantics, and it's like her favorite movie, so I kind of have to like it by default because I'm forced to watch it sometimes. But I enjoy it. It's a good flick.
All right, question for you guys. All the guys here, have you ever like told your significant other like, hey, I want to watch this movie, but you gotta watch the movie so I can watch the movie?
Wait, what?
I lost you.
All right, so they want to watch a movie, but you're really into it, so you're kind of just pretending to watch it.
Oh, got you. No, I mean not for me. I'm really not shy about telling her my displeasure for movies, and actually I've created a convert because now like most recently my wife and I, when we went to the movies, we went to see Maleficent, and she said, "Oh, that was awful." So and she was just telling me because I've kind of I don't want to say like I like artsy fartsy movies, but I do like more independent. I like stuff that's different, that's cinematically unique, that's visually different. So now she has an appreciation for like I guess a higher caliber of film versus just like Step It Up or something like that. Yeah. So she was like, oh, there was nothing good about it, and so she's like, I hate you. I can't appreciate these bad movies anymore.
Wait, you didn't like Maleficent?
Oh no, I didn't like it at all.
Wow.
I found myself
I thought it was really good.
Forcing myself to find things I liked about it. And there were some good things about it, but overall, maybe I just had too high expectations because I love the original. It was so cinematically amazing, and the way the history behind it, the way they're actually using wider screens and I mean wider settings and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to get too technical about it, but yeah, I didn't like it at all. We talk about it post-show. We could debate about it, but
I'll agree with you on that, though. They went completely away from the original story.
Which is
completely
okay.
changed it.
I think they've been doing that more. Like that's like their thing now. They did like Snow White and the Huntsman. Now they did this. I know they're coming out with a new Cinderella
They're trying to make the
live
background
action.
look good.
That's what I
That's
just
cool.
I wasn't okay with that.
Misunderstood. You know,
I wasn't okay with that.
No offense. Sleeping Beauty is my favorite Disney princess. I don't give a fuck. Oh, sorry.
No, it's
Oh
all
my
right.
God.
It's all good. We're not.
Alright, cool. I wasn't sure.
YouTube is going to hate us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Said that
YouTube.
word.
No, she's my favorite princess. I mean, every girl has their favorite princess. I love the story, and I love the fact because Maleficent is a badass,
Right.
greatest villain ever. She turns into a dragon and is like, "Screw you, Prince Philip. I'm gonna blow fire at you." That's what she does. I was a little disappointed at that her crow turned in.
Right.
I was like, "Come on!"
Right,
Angelina
exactly.
Jolie.
But it
I
kind of
love her.
worked. I bought it. Like
You know-
I the way they set it up, the story. I bought it. Yeah, I was okay with it.
And that's another thing that pissed me off. She has all powerful magic, and she can't grow her wings back. Like I never understood
Because,
that.
I mean, every great like villain or great superhero always has to have some sort of like great weakness.
An Achilles heel of some sort.
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought the metal was her weakness.
Greek tragedy. Okay, well she has two. She's not perfect, okay?
Well, but if you cut off her arm, you wouldn't say grow your arm back. I mean, it's kind of. I think it's something.
She
to that
turned a
extent.
crow into a human.
Right. It's
I'm-
magic.
So she's gonna turn her nub into an arm.
Yeah.
Flat out.
All right, so David, guilty pleasure.
I guess going back to the chick flicks, I don't know if it is, but Serendipity.
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 I think I know what you're talking about.
John Cusack
Yeah.
and Kate Beckinsale.
Hey, that was pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I just watched it.
I like
the
that
off
one,
chance,
dude.
and it was actually pretty good.
All right, not bad.
Hey man, you're making us really girly, dude. You know? You got My Little Pony over here, and he's got Serendipity, and
We're finding out now. I mean, there's more and more, these little cults and niche things. So I mean, it's all good. Anything else from this side of the table? Guilty pleasures?
Do you have another one?
I don't think so. I think.
Grooming your mustache.
I know I agree.
That's a must.
Yes.
So we had another. I don't know if we have the time, given I want to give respect and time for the band, but we had another kind of topic we wanted to discuss for the evening. Do we want to roll into that, or do we want to put it off for another night?
Yeah, no, we have plenty of time, so yeah, bring it on.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this one was your idea, so I'm going to let you roll with it. Do you remember what we were talking about?
I do not. So
So we were talking about Paco and I were kicking back some ideas back and forth on topics for the show. So I thought of the guilty pleasures thing because it's definitely a little bit embarrassing, and I appreciate you guys sharing, with the 10 viewers that we've been getting lately. So you guys are going to be put on blast. But no, I mean, but now that we got you guys on the show, I mean, we're gonna get 1,000 hits. A weird, or I mean, if it's weird to you or other people, kind of give you a grimacing look. Any kind of weird food or drink that you guys like or have tried? We've talked about the appletini. I'm sure that's kind of a weird one. I know people maybe look at you funny, or when your boyfriend orders a pomegranate martini. Maybe you give him a funky look. So I will lead it off. This something from my childhood was a weird food combination. When I was a kid, we kind of had like a set menu for dinner every week. I mean, my mom, like, we were on a strict budget, so it was like, okay, we're gonna get chicken and rice and Kool-Aid, and that was like our kind of our set menu every week. One of the things that we really like to eat, because we're half my dad's Mexican, so I'm half Mexican, is taquitos. But they weren't like the homemade hand-rolled ones, because my mom's white, so she's a working mom, so she didn't have the time to make them. So we just get like the frozen taquitos. Well, avocados are expensive if you want to make guacamole, and we as kids didn't really like it so much. But we had to have something to dip it in. Salsa was maybe a little bit too hot, but we always had these little packets of the Mott's applesauce. So we would take our taquitos and dip them in the applesauce and eat them up. It's weird. I know. People look at me funny. I haven't done it in probably like 10, 15 years, but it was just like good. It was like, the saltiness of the chips and like the shredded meat on the inside, that saltiness and the sweet, something about that combination. It's really good. And I enjoyed it. So taquitos with applesauce, if you haven't tried it, if you want to go on a limb, check it out. But that was a weird food thing that I still like it to this day. Again, I haven't had it in a while, but I'll do it right now.
I have two. First of all, I have a story that I want to share with you guys. I actually was dating a white girl, and
Say
I
it
took
ain't
her.
so.
Yeah, we went on a date, and I took her to a Mexican restaurant, and I introduced her to cow tongue. Lengua, that's right.
All right.
And I didn't tell her what it was. I just bought her the tacos.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. I bought her the tacos, and I told her, hey, do you like the taste? Are you enjoying them? And she was, yeah, I love it. And she's like, what is it? I'm like, it's tongue. And she completely freaked out. It was the funniest thing ever.
Did you get a second date?
That's a good question. No.
She's gonna answer at the next show.
But anyways, the other thing that I've tried that it's pretty weird, it's a Reese's peanut butter cups. Have you guys all tried Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yeah, it's good.
So it got weed in it.
No. Okay, so it's Reese's. After I take a bite from the Reese's peanut butter cup, I chug some Coke.
Whoa. Oh,
Coca-Cola.
Okay.
Coca-Cola.
Narcotics.
Yeah, you can. You can
No,
snort
you
it really
can't.
hard. And you like wipe
Coca-Cola, the soda.
Oh,
And it is the most delicious thing in the world. So that's a
Wow.
weird thing. Yeah.
Reese's, I love Reese's. One of my favorite candies, probably. I've never tried. I'm not a big soda fan, but I think I've got to try it. I'm always trying to step it up a little bit.
The mixture of Reese's peanut butter cups and Coca-Cola, it's just delicious. Yeah.
So, from our guests, any unusual foods you like to eat, or maybe like a family recipe?
Yeah, I basically eat like basically anything. I just throw like sour cream, or I throw ranch on it, and it just kind of grosses the hell out of people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. A man
Sour
after my
cream on
heart right
everything.
there. Yeah.
And rice, put it in everything, dude. Just put it on top.
Yeah.
Like, you can put it in. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, one thing my brother introduced me to recently. If you haven't tried it, I'm gonna recommend it to you. Now, are you against like the Hidden Valley, like the powdered ranch?
No mayonnaise stuff.
Okay, but like that powdered mix though, like if
powdered
you
mix,
mix it with sour cream,
Yeah.
you got ranch
Yeah,
dip.
yeah.
Okay, you got microwave bag of popcorn, and then you sprinkle the powdered ranch mix over the
Oh, yeah.
popcorn, shake it up. You've done it?
No, I'm down.
Yeah,
That's good.
you got it's
Throw some-
fantastic.
Throw some sour cream in there.
You could do that too. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Definitely got to try the Hidden Valley. It doesn't have to necessarily be Hidden Valley. It could be your local Stater Brothers brand or whatever. But the powdered ranch mix over popcorn, got to check it out. Good mix there. Good mix.
On that side,
Well, I guess I don't know how my family thinks I'm weird for trying this, but I put guacamole and lemon on my pizza.
Oh, I've never tried
Yeah,
that.
that sounds
I haven't
good.
tried that. I want to.
It is pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting.
That sounds
That-
good. I like that.
that's
No,
a-
so how did that come about? You just tried it one time? I mean, you were having tacos and pizza one night, and they just kind of came together?
Well, we're at the house and my family was just, we had the combo pizza from Costco.
Uh-huh.
They were putting tapatio and their little, whatever, their little things. And I saw a bowl of guacamole and I saw the lemons. I'm like, let's give this a try. I just slathered it on and I squeezed the lemon on top. And yeah, it's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
I grew up in a Italian restaurant. My dad was a manager for a small Italian restaurant, and one of the things that he would make, especially for my mom, that wasn't on the menu, was a quote Mexican pizza. So it was like a regular pizza, no sauce, but you put the cheese, ground beef, onions, tomato, lettuce, kind of like a taco topping on top of a pizza. So, I mean, not too far off from putting like guacamole on it. It was just sliced avocado, but I mean, really good pizza. I think other places probably do it now. I don't know if it's a regular thing, but yeah. So I can vouch for you there. Mexican pizza, really good, really good.
All right, so we have Joey and Brandy.
I like really spicy things, and I don't know where that came from, but when I'm at work, I order like a sandwich, and then I go in the back and I get a raw jalapeno, and I'm eating it, and I'm like sweating in the break room. And then people see what I'm doing, and they're like, "Are you crazy? I'm like, it's so good, I can't stop eating it." I think it's really hot, but it just tastes really good. I don't know.
You know, that's something I had to grow into because, being Mexican, everyone expected me to eat really spicy food, and I didn't. I used to hate it. I was like, no, this is hot. Why am I putting it in my mouth? It makes no sense. Uh-oh. And, I had to try it, and I had to become a man about it, I guess. And I started liking spicy food. So, Brandy.
I'm also half Mexican. My dad is Japanese,
Mhm.
so maybe this is just a Japanese thing, but they love to put mayonnaise on everything. I hate mayonnaise.
Wow.
I hate mayonnaise.
Okay.
But with spaghetti,
Whoa!
I know.
Did not see that coming.
exactly. My grandmother did it one time, and this is the only time I will ever eat mayonnaise is spaghetti. Sometimes with the imitation crab meat, sometimes.
All right.
But oh my god, if you ever tried spaghetti and mayonnaise, it's like delicious.
So
Talking about...
now is that with is that with like the pasta sauce too, or just
Yes,
noodles
we
and
can
mayonnaise?
use-
That's
no,
it.
You can use
No?
ragu. You can use like what's that other one? The one with like the guy who looks like. Oh my
Bertolli.
yeah, you can use that one. Or there's another guy. What's Arnold Palmer? He looks like Arnold Palmer, but I think he's like something.
Paul Newman.
There you go. I think yeah, he has his own. He has his own like spaghetti sauce, and
Yeah.
if you put mayonnaise, it doesn't matter what spaghetti sauce it is. It's freaking delicious.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just is to me. It's the only time I'll ever eat mayonnaise. What I was saying?
Talking about mayonnaise, I actually tried rice. It was actually red rice with mayonnaise and lemon, and it is the most delicious thing in the world. Yeah.
That's an odd combo.
Yeah.
That is a weird one right there.
I just had to try it. I don't even remember why I did it. I just did it.
On your thing with the lengua, I went to a Basque restaurant one time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Basque culture. They're from Spain, and they're traditionally, like, I don't want to say hillsy people, but they're a sheep herder culture.
They're not like, they don't even like agree with it. They're Spanish at all. There's like their own separate.
Right, exactly. So they don't even, but it's there, but they reside within Spain, as I understand. So they're like a sheep herding culture. So, anyways, one of my jobs that I used to have, actually, I was one of my accounts was in Bakersfield, and Bakersfield, I guess, has a pretty, I don't want to say large, but they have a Basque culture within Bakersfield, which makes sense because it's kind of an agricultural farming area. And I was out visiting one of my customers out there. They said, "Oh, we got to take you to this restaurant. You got to try it. It's a Basque restaurant." So I'm like, what the hell is Basque? I don't know what it is. But they said it's like Spanish. They're from, Basque is like from Spain. So I said, okay, I'm expecting like maybe some paella or, beans or some fish, something, very Spanish-like. And it was like the exact opposite. It was a lot of like, it just seemed like regular, just like good cooking. I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy. I think that I don't recall exactly what was on the menu, but the one thing that I had, they said, you've got to try it. This is like their signature thing. You've got to try it. And it was an appetizer, and it's pickled tongue. Pickled tongue. Right. Well, at first I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna try it.
Asian, I love everything pickled. Shut up.
So I'll try it. You know, I'm especially I'm there. I'm with my customers. Like I can't puss out of this. I mean, excuse me. This just kind of like my take. You know, I can't wuss out of this. So so it comes out. It's on a platter about this big, and they're just like little pieces of tongue, like thin slice, kind of like deli meat, how you would think. And it's just laid out on this plate, and you could tell it's got like some briny, vinegary kind of pickled juice on it. So I said, okay, I'm just good. And they're all waiting for me to try it first. So I'm sitting there in the booth. I'm there with 3 other guys, and they're just watching me. So I'm like, yeah, just like nothing. And it tastes like roast beef. I mean, like kind of like a pickled roast beef. It was fantastic, absolutely delicious. Pickled tongue. If you ever get a chance to try it, I imagine there it's fresh. I don't know if it's been sitting brining in a jar, if it'll be as good. Pickled tongue definitely gets a thumbs up for me. Don't be afraid to try it. It tastes like roast beef.
Talking about pickles, I actually find that funny that you mentioned it because every time I go to Six Flags, I look at girls typically, they have their pickle and they're eating it, just the regular pickle by itself.
Pickles?
Yeah. I can never. I always wonder why. Like it seems so like disgusting to me.
Pickles are so delicious.
Yeah.
You think so?
When I was at elementary, they used to sell them like at snack. You can buy a pickle, you can buy popcorn, but I was like, give me the pickle.
I'll sell you my pickle for a nickel.
I don't get it either. I'm with you on that. I like pickle like slices on my hamburger or hot dog or whatever, but like a big pickle. Nah.
Yeah, makes no sense to me. Ladies and gentlemen, our band right here, Rustic Rye, is going to go ahead and get ready. So if you guys want to go ahead and start getting ready
Get ready.
they're going to play some music for us. And my co-host,
The bathroom's over here.
First door on the right.
Jason, and I will
Make sure you leave a quarter.
we'll continue talking about the things that we're talking about. So Jason, any other guilty pleasures or weird foods that you have tried?
I've got a couple. I got to admit, I was excited about these 2 topics, so I was thrilled, and I was kind of racking my brain. Of course, as I told you, my wife was really especially helped me with the guilty pleasures. As far as like the weird food drinks, I love to drink hose water from a garden hose. It's just as a kid growing up, we're always outside in the streets. I grew up on a small little cul-de-sac. And there was probably like 4 or 5 other houses in the neighborhood that had kids within like 3-4 years of my age. So we were able to. So we always had kids to play with in the summertime, and basically, you go out, you get up, you have your breakfast, you go out and play, you come in and have lunch, and then you go out and play until it was dark, and that was pretty much your day. So you don't really coming in to get maybe a cup of Kool-Aid, but if you just need to grab some water real quick, you just turn on that hose, and there's something about like that metal kind of taste in the hose. I love it. I mean, to this day, if I'm outside working or gardening or doing anything, not that I garden very often, but if I'm mowing the lawn or doing something like that, I will definitely take up some hose water.
Hey, that's cool. That's funny that you mentioned that because growing up, that was just our only choice. It wasn't anything to do with, we have water bottles and I prefer that.
Oh, no, we didn't have water bottles in my house either, so it was tap water or hose water, but the hose water tasted better.
Yeah, that's just the choice that we had, so it's funny that you mentioned that. Especially playing soccer. We would always, drink from the hose. And people are scared of it now. I don't get that.
No, I'm not afraid. I drank hose water a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I've actually done some research on that, and it's actually more healthier. It's healthier to drink from the hose than it is to drink from a water bottle.
Well, I've heard it's lower risk. And I forget the exact stat. I'm not going to try to quote it, but I did hear that there have been more recorded contaminations of bottled water than there is public water.
Interesting. Yeah. That's
because of that, because the bottled water companies are kind of self-regulating. Whereas, public water that comes out of a tap or a hose, it's tested, I think it's like hundreds of times more a month or a week than bottled water. So because of that, it's actually safer. There's less likely to be contaminated water because it's tested so much more frequently. And there have been more reported cases of water recalls and illnesses related to water from bottled water than versus tap water.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've also heard that if you leave your bottled water inside a car,
yeah,
like it could give you cancer. Like it's just
Really bad. Yeah, I try not
Really
to leave
bad
water
for me.
bottles in the car.
Yeah.
I agree with
When I leave water bottles in the car, I just throw them away. Like, you know, I could go back into the car and just drink them, but I actually just throw them away.
Would you feel good? What if you were just dropped by a homeless person and asked for a bottle of water? Would you feel guilty giving them cancer water, or would you just try to help them out if you saw they were dirty and you knew it was a hot day, 100 degrees outside, you knew they just needed some water, and all you had was like a unopened bottle of water at Arrowhead or Dasani, whatever it was in your back seat for 2 weeks? Would you feel guilty giving it to them, or would you want to help them out and still give it to them?
I think I'd feel guilty about it.
Oh, man, that's a tough call. That's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Hey, those of you watching, if you want to comment on that, I want to know what you guys are thinking. Comment on our page. Let us know. Would you give that homeless guy your bottle of water? I want to know.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, if I had the funds or whatever, if I had the availability to do it, I would go in and buy them a water bottle.
Okay.
I've always been that guy. You know, I've never been big on giving people money.
Right.
Because I always feel like, oh, they're going to use it for drugs or they're going to use it for something, alcohol or whatever.
Right.
I'll just give you money. I'm sorry. I'll just go and buy you something.
Right.
You know. But yeah, I don't think I would give them the water bottle, the cancer water.
The cancer water.
Any other guilty pleasures that you could think of?
Guilty pleasures, I definitely have. This one is kind of embarrassing. My wife didn't really want me to admit it because I was talking to her about it. But I have a nose for like kind of like funky smells, like funky smells. I kind of like funky smells. Like if I'm sweating, if I've got BO, like I'm not embarrassed. Like I'll check myself out, and like I don't get disgusted by it. Like I don't mind like my funky BO. Like I've got a 2 and a 3-year-old, and poopy diapers don't bother me. I actually think it's kind of funny the way they smell and stuff like that. So I don't mind changing it. So like funky smells like that. I mean, dirty trash. I mean, I don't have a gag reflex like that. Or easy. So I like funky smells. I like my own BO. There, I said it.
Did that change when you had kids, or you've always?
Oh
had
no,
that?
before. Ever since, yeah. I mean, ever since I like first found out I had BO, like I was down with it. It just doesn't bother me. Yeah.
I smell like tangerines. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, I don't smell like tangerine. I smell like BO, but I mean, but I like it. I like
But
my BO, and I like my wife's BO too. So
Are you the type of guy who's like, hey, that means I worked hard?
no, not necessarily. I mean, I do enjoy a good sweat. I mean, I'm a competitive guy. I like to work out and to exercise and to play sports. So, I'm a competitive type. I don't mind sweating, but yeah, I've never been bothered. Like I don't want to say I like relish in it or I bathe in it, but I'm not bothered by my BO.
Okay, for sure. That's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Now, I do apologize for anyone else in the room, but, I mean, now I'm clean. I showered. We're good.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have Rustic Rye right here with us. They're about to perform for us. And go ahead and catch this right here on Emix Radio, and feel free. Let's go ahead and get started. Whenever you guys are ready.
We're opening up the traveler, right?
Okay, you guys are on the shot, so go ahead and feel free.
Alright. He's got the camera off. You said the song.
next song is called Hold the Line. And we have to kind of adjust here because we're different instruments. Oh, actually, it's not.
It's not. What is it?
It's Brother.
Brother.
Okay.
Dave, remember this time.
Jason, all the mics turn this.
All the mics are turned that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's a pizza pie. That's amore.
Sort of figure out.
We're waiting for my friend.
I'm sorry.
When the earth starts to shake, it will send you like sand. Take a run to the mountains where you bury your hands. From the ocean to the river, where are you listening? We will soar on high, on gilded wings. We'll take back the silence, and you will open the door to a world full of birds and blood and claws. From the ashes we'll ascend, we will live to fight again. If it runs through your mind, you'll be running all day. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our ground. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our sound. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our ground. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our sound. When the earth starts to shake, it will shift you like sand. So you run to the mountains where you bury your hands. From the ocean to the river, brother, are you listening? We will soar on high, on gilded wings. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our ground. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our sound. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our ground. Between the lost and found, that's where we lost our sound. Alright, next song's Revolt.
Do you want to give a little brief introduction of Revolt?
Yeah. I wrote this song for the people of Ukraine and what they're going through. And hopefully they take back their country and Hopefully it doesn't all get torn away from Russia.
You ready? You ready? You ready, David?
Ready.
Last song. It's called Until the End.
Can you outro them once we're done?
Yeah.
Alright. So you can
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been Emix Radio with special guest band Rustic Rye. We want to thank you guys for coming in. It's been a pleasure having you on. Please check them out. And show coming up soon.
Yeah.
Where went?
In August.
August. Stay tuned to Emix Radio. We'll let you know the date about it. Thank you very much. You guys have a great, blessed week. We will see you next time.